I'm on the local Stairmaster here today. It is not infinite though, so I do have to run back down or jog back down before I go back up again. Big news, big chatter, hot topic in the ultra running world recently since Tom Evans and Ruth Croft won UTMB. Their coach Scott Johnston, Evoke Endurance, co-author of Training for the Uphill Athlete, a book I have and which I have read. Muscular Endurance. That is the hot topic. The idea behind that is that perhaps in these long distance ultras, however you want to determine your own long distance, it's maybe not your aerobic endurance that is the ultimate limiting factor. It's possible that at least a big chunk of it could be muscular breakdown, and not just breakdown, the ability of your muscles to endure the pounding, the muscular contractions throughout the course of a long ultra like that, and not just your heart and lungs. I've been doing variations on these stairs for a few years now. It's actually a very good resource. Stone steps here, a bunch of landings in between. The steps are varying depths, the landings are varying depths, and of course there's a little bit of texture here, so depending on where you're stepping, you're not always taking the same exact step as you would on a treadmill and, for comparison's sake, a Stairmaster. I played around with variations where I just hike up, not running, hike real fast, one step at a time, and then kind of jog back down quickly. So at times I would either go up really slowly and focus more on the stepping down the stairs for eccentric training, and there's other times where I would really just try to go one step at a time but push it really quickly to really amp up the aerobic impact. But something that's always kind of bugged me or been in the back of my mind in my training and racing is how my legs always seem to break down at the end of races. I always feel like I come into races and I'm in really good aerobic condition, but at the end there's no way to avoid that quad breakdown, just muscle soreness that really drags me down. I always feel like it's the damage that's holding back, not necessarily my fitness or aerobic level. So listening to all those post UTMB interviews, it really did strike a chord with me, like a aha thing, like, wow, this could be, the missing piece for me, or maybe something I've been ignoring or just forgetting about throughout the course of my running. So I'm starting out trying a new protocol today. As you can see, I'm doing 2 steps at a time here, aside from the landings, of course. And I'm going with weight. One of the things I heard in those interviews is how they used uphill either weight vest training or using water to up the muscular component. So I've got this Decathlon 15-liter vest. Good time to test it here. Full 2 liters in the back and a liter up front. So 3 liters in total. Obviously, when I was doing these runs before, I bring just enough fluids to get me by. I would actually try to be light on these sessions. But right now, the idea is really focus on that muscular component, up the weight. I've got 3 liters here. I didn't actually check how much that weighs, but I kind of want to take it easy, at least this first session here, see how it goes, and maybe if I find that it's effective, I could ramp up the weight later on. First impressions are, it does seem to be very effective for what I'm trying to get out of it. And what I mean by that, first 2 or 3 landings, I'm feeling the burn in my legs, quads especially. Maybe I should be trying to push a bit more through my glutes, but we'll see. I, of course, get out of breath by the top here, but it does feel more oriented towards my leg muscles as opposed to gasping for air from just like running with maybe quicker, shorter steps. Another aspect of these stairs in particular, which I think makes them very effective, is the varying depth of the stairs and the landings. They're actually, especially at the bottom here, quite deep, so I do have to stretch out to take two at a time and maybe not cut up my steps between landings. I think it's kind of just like your regular running stride. A way to make hiking effective is the same way as you're running, lengthen your hiking stride. So taking those giant steps in both height and length definitely work the muscles, keep them under tension, lengthen out that hiking stride for sure. Just for reference, I've got 135 steps here, plus I'm taking a few extra steps on the landings. Check the elevation gain there, taking me about 110, 115 to get up. I've not been paying attention going down. Sometimes take an extra breath at the top or collect myself at the bottom before I go for another round. It depends on what you're focusing on. So focusing on the muscular aspect here, you probably want to lean more into being ready for the next rep, catching your breath, letting your aerobic system catch up before you go for another round. If you check out this video and this looks like a great idea and you have a similar set of steps, or maybe some sports stadium or park stairs that you can work with, just note that before I was doing two at a time, now I'm taking one step at a time. If you find yourself really gasping for air, then you might want to do one step at a time. Build up your aerobic level first before you start getting into the muscular development, or perhaps not do such an extended stretch. Again, 135 steps I've got here. If you find those legs burning right away, you might want to not go so far, or as I'm doing now, focus on the shorter steps, focus on the aerobic aspect, which I had been doing many times, many sessions out here in my previous trainings. There's also more of a calf component here when you're doing one step at a time. Kind of naturally push up or elevate on your calves there and extend. When I'm doing two at a time, I really don't notice it as much in my calves, really at all. Really feeling it in my quads at this point. Perhaps I should feel it a little more in my glutes, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Know from experience, especially for the going down the stairs, I know my legs are going to be wrecked. There's times where I've really pushed the reps for the eccentric contractions, and I have been wrecked the next day. So that is something to watch out for. Word of caution, start slow. I'm about coming up on an hour now, which is a lot for this type of thing, but my aerobic level, my fitness level, pretty decent right now. So I'm really trying to hone in, especially going into the off season, maybe get started, head start for 2026 on muscular training. Final note of caution here, if you get to the top, oftentimes you'll feel, could be a little lightheaded, especially if you're leaning over doing the power hiking situation there. So definitely if you feel any lightheadedness, take a pause at the top. Make sure you get that oxygen back in your lungs, into your muscles and your brain. So yeah, let's do a few more rounds here. Careful on the steps on the downhill too. No need to rush down here. Save that for the smoother trails. So let me know what you think of this workout here. Do you do something similar? Have you heard the buzz post UTMB and maybe wondering the same things like me, why you're breaking down at the end of long ultras? Maybe this will help. I hope it will. I'm gonna kind of put it into my routine over the coming months and keep you posted on how it goes. Out for this Kip Run 15-liter vest review in the near future. Fully loaded here. Felt good going up and down the stairs. There's a few little things about it that I have to fully test out on the trails, but also check out, got a couple videos on the Norda 001A testing Injinji liner socks here, merino wool. I'm gonna do a sock roundup pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. As always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Go to www.humblerunning.com. Sign up for my newsletter. See you out on the trails in the next one.